speaking of dumb, I felt like a big bad dummy when I watched a video of Javon Kinlaw and a media member for the San Francisco 49ers who has a credential to go into the building every single day, be a part of the press pool, walk around the locker room, walk around practice, and he's on the field, I think, game day and afterwards in the locker room, a fully credentialed member of the media interviewing Javon Kinlaw of the San Francisco 49ers, and it got pretty hostile. And I thought to myself, man, what the fuck is going on here? This guy, I mean, I love what he's saying. I enjoy what he's saying. But the NFL and the Niners are not going to be happy about this at all. This took place a couple days ago between Javon Kinlaw and a credentialed member of the NFL media, Grant Cohn.
Put some respect on my name, brother. I'm a man just like you. My nuts is bigger than yours, brother.
I asked you what I said about you.
My balls is bigger than yours, brother. Put some respect on my name.
All right, Javon.
Put some respect on my name, brother. Stop talking about me like I'm an animal or something, brother.
What did I say about you?
Don't worry about none of that. Don't worry about none of that. You already know.
Javon, if you're gonna come on my channel,
you want to try to bring me hardcore facts, bro.
You can come
Javon, you can come on my channel and tell me what to say and what not to say. You should have some quotes. What did I say about you?
Nobody fucks with that. Nobody fucks with you. You don't even understand that. Nobody fucks with you, brother. You need to go find a new job. Nobody fucks with you.
What does that mean?
What do you mean what it means? Nobody fucks with you.
It's amazing.
Are you sure?
Nobody fucks with you, fam. And the only reason I'm getting on here stooping to your level this low is because I feel like it got to be done. Somebody got to do it, and it's going to be me. Somebody got to press you, fam. You like to come on here and try to bully people on the internet. But when I press up on you in fucking person, you fucking shaking like a coward, voice lighter than my fucking baby. What's up with that?
I'm scared of you, Javon?
What's up with that, fam?
You think I'm scared of you, Javon?
Fam, I don't give a fuck if you are or not. All I know is when I walked up on you, your fucking body temperature was fucking cold as ice. Straight bitch. Your fucking balls shriveled up. Little dick nigga.
Hey, Javon, do you think you're representing the 49ers well right now? Javon, do you think the 49ers are proud of what you're saying right now?
Stop playing with me like
how is that a bigger story?
Okay, so this became a massive story in the San Francisco 49ers faithful, obviously, because Grant Cohn, being a credentialed, by the NFL and by the Niners, credentialed media member, in there every single day, Grant Cohn, having an interview with obviously a player for the Niners on his channel in front of the Cognacs, brother. Okay, it's his channel in front of the Cognacs. He invited him on there, so that took off. I had seen it. A lot of people tweeted it to me, and I'm like, man, like I everything he said in there. It came from what sounded like a guy who hated another person and let him know about it. He said, somebody had to do it, so fuck it. I'll be the one. I hate you. Now, the way he said it, how he went about going doing it, I immediately, as soon as seen it, I'm like, oh, no, like this is going to end up terribly for Javon Kinlaw. This is going to be, the Niners are going to get so mad.
At least he said it to his face, and he didn't do it anonymously, or he didn't, do it behind his back.
I agree, but the way it was delivered, I thought there was going to be massive issues. Yeah. So I immediately had to think to myself, well, what has this guy done to Kinlaw or to anybody that he was referencing that would make them this pissed off? And then he provided us an answer. He actually put this video out a day after this entire event happened, just Tuesday, I believe.
I just don't understand why you're so mad. Like, Javon, what are you upset about? Is it the fact that I said you have an 80-year-old knee? Is it the fact that I said that you're a terrible pass rusher and you're just a two-down player? Is it the fact that I said the Niners shouldn't have drafted you and they should have taken Tristan Wirfs instead? Is it the fact that I said that you're unprofessional and immature? It escapes me which of the 100 negative things I've said about Javon Kinlaw the last couple of years moved him to approach me in such a way. But you know what? I applaud Javon Kinlaw for coming to speak to me directly.
Why didn't you say this to him when he was on your show?
What do you think Javon's mad about?
Okay, so he asked us, what do you think? And obviously, earlier in same video, he chatted about seeing Javon Kinlaw in real life at practice. And Javon Kinlaw actually put a rap song together about him. You a bitch. You a sucker-ass bitch. And while he was walking around. And obviously Grant Cohn didn't say anything at the time. Waited until the stadium was completely empty there that he was at. And cut a promo back. Once again, this is a credentialed member of the media. One that is probably introduced to the players. This guy will be following you around this season. He'll be in our locker room. He'll be in the building. He'll be covering our team. Not easy to get credentialed, by the way. Not easy. You have to think to yourself, how the fuck did this guy become a credentialed member of the press with this type of shit going on, especially in the NFL when it's incredibly impossible to get into it? Then he reveals the answer in another video that he was streaming live while doing a Q&A.
Hard on you, zero scared. Because look, my dad was in the industry.
I'd have been scared if he was coming to me like that.
When I was very young. Because honestly, if he had touched me, if he pushed me, dude, I could have retired today.
Oh, stop.
That's what went through my mind. I'm like, oh, damn, I'm about to retire. I'm about to be out of the game. I'm about to be a multi-millionaire thanks to Javon Kinlaw. But no, I got to keep working.
Oh, yeah, got to keep working. He displays, what nepotism has done for him, okay? My dad is in the industry. I assume he's grown up really hard times and everything like that. A lot of people would say about Grant Cohn. Javon Kinlaw was actually homeless, okay, at one point in his life. Then going into the NFL, you have this rat bastard whose first thoughts whenever he is in an altercation with a team that he covers or whatever is, I'm going to sue and make money, which obviously leads to George Kittle posting about this saying, hey, excuse me, how can we have somebody in our building that is literally prying and agitating players in an attempt to potentially sue them to become a millionaire so he doesn't have to work any longer? That seems like a problem. I would assume this guy's pass and credential thing is going to get taken away soon because Eric Armstead, Solomon Thomas, George Kittle, all these, Raheem Mostert came out and went to bat for the entire situation about this guy is just a fucking problem, pretty much. Like, this guy is just a shit stirrer. And by the way, if that's how he's going to go about doing his thing, Eric Armstead said, this is the type of lowlife we let into our building. He would rather antagonize and provoke players into hitting him so he can retire instead of doing his job of journalism. That was from Eric Armstead on the team. Here's from Raheem Mostert. We're always told journalists and reporters have a job to do. Okay, understood. But this, he admitted to retirement as a multi-millionaire, went through his mind. This is unacceptable at the NFL, at the 49ers. George Kittle had something similar. Solomon Thomas, who's also on the 49ers, a consistent negative, disrespectful, and demeaning tone to players in their craft, like we are animals. Then talks about game to antagonize a player enough so he can sue him. We shouldn't have to answer to the media to this level, or answer to media of this level. The 49ers NFL should protect us better. So it's obvious that the players probably felt the same way that I felt, like, oh, Javon Kinlaw is going to get, hey, this is not going to be great, because the media-player relationship is one that is presented to you as a fashion of, hey, this has to happen. It has to go well. Every training camp, there's an entire presentation about the media and the NFL and how we're in this thing together and how your local reporters are the ones that cover the team the closest and take care of your fan base the most. It's a real thing that's chatted about in the NFL. So the fact that this guy has been in here for some time, I would assume the players are like, this guy has said 100 negative things about me, and then after a game where I'm emotional, I gotta fucking be 2 feet away from this guy, and I'm supposed to act professional when he clearly never does. It's a wild situation, it's a wild experiment, and it's all happening right here in the nepotism bubble of Grant Cohn's channel in the front of the Coniacs.
I mean, the whole situation, to me, and this is my first time hearing or seeing any of this, I'm sure it looks like to me, when the other 49ers players and probably coaches and front office saw this video with Kinlaw, they were like, oh, thank God, we're so happy. I think they're like, this guy did it. He did it for us. He confronted this guy, because it sounds like other players have issues with him. I know the one comment, said a consistent negative and demeaning, tone towards players and critical. I just thought, how are other media outlets, are they coming out to support him? Because that's my problem. I hope the mainstream media is not like, oh, well, what, you don't want them to be critical of players? No, that's not what this is about. We understand they can't all be puff pieces. You have to ask tough questions and all of that. But there's a big difference between being super disrespectful and also trying to make it about yourself too. That's what's happening. I feel like too.
Run back the video from the baseball field where he's cutting the promo, from the football field where he's cutting the promo. So like, if you want to stick up for somebody and say he's just got to do his job, he's got to be critical, and that is a style of journalism, we understand. There's always going to be critics, especially journalists who have big brains and their job is to nitpick and make things better. So I think it naturally comes hand in hand. This is vastly different than somebody that's just being a critic of a football team that's covering them as a credentialed member of the media of the NFL. Listen to this. Listen to this reaction here when nobody's around, by the way.
I just don't understand why you're so mad. Like, Javon, what are you upset about? Is it the fact that I said you have an 80-year-old knee? Is it the fact that I said that you're a terrible pass rusher and you're just a two-down player? Oh. Is it the fact that I said the Niners shouldn't have drafted you and they should have taken Tristan Wirfs instead? Is it the fact that I said that you're unprofessional and immature? It escapes me which of the 100 negative things I've said about Javon Kinlaw the last couple of years moved him to approach me in such a way. But you know what?
Hundreds of things.
I applaud Javon Kinlaw for coming to speak to me directly. Yeah. And I ask you, what do you think Javon's mad about?
This guy. I actually enjoy the fact that, because I view everything as WWE. This guy's a great heel. Okay, I enjoy his personality. I think he's probably an incredible internet person. Like, I assume he does well in front of the Coniacs, and he does have supporters, because I've had a lot of people probably right now tweeting me, telling me that what Javon Kinlaw did is not becoming of an NFL player, not a role model, blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, he is a human, though, you know? So if somebody's just going to shit talk, he might have had a little different back growing up than you, by the way. So if somebody who's, I would never... Probably one of the least athletic humans of all time, Grant Cohn.
Yeah, safe assumption.
Not sure. Might be good at tennis or something. Golf,
yeah,
maybe. Not 100% sure. It may be a pretty good athlete. Not sure. We'll see how he has to throw something. But whenever that person is just hundreds of negative things he said. Hundreds of negative things is what he said. And then you just constantly have to answer to this, you know,
yeah, right.
I mean, it becomes difficult. And I think if he's just an internet blogger, just an internet personality, has his own show, whatever the case is, the fact that he's credentialed, I think, is the biggest deal, because you know how in high regards that is held by the entire NFL, AJ.
I mean, it's huge to get credentialed to go into an NFL locker room, 4 times a week during the season, probably. I don't know if they still have an open locker rooms or not, but I think they're getting back to it, right?
Yes. We beat it. Wow.
If he keeps his credential, yeah, like, does he write for something? Does he work for a site? What is it? Or is it all on his channel?
I think it's SI.
Really? We are hearing that the Cohns are currently holding a press conference because Grant Cohn's dad, still alive, member of the industry, taught me some game.
Yep.
Sure.
I was thinking, I'm fucking retiring, dude. I'm multimillionaire, dude.
You said you tell me he wasn't scared?
He was obviously scared. You heard the way Javon was talking about his voice?
Yeah.
Your voice had less bass than my baby.
Cold as ice.
Javon was very good there. He got his points across.
Yes, he was great. And I'm going to be the one that's going to do it. Nobody fucks with you. What does that even mean? What you mean? What's that mean? Nobody fucks with you.
And he didn't throw his teammates under the bus too, because he didn't he basically said, hey, everybody, I am speaking for the whole 49ers organization, basically. He's trying to tell this dude without naming names and throwing his teammates under the bus too.
Yeah, listen, dude, like, if you were just if we didn't have to see you every single day, like, that is an interesting thing. Now, I assume they do, at the end of every conversation, they go, the dude does got courage, though. I mean, he does. You know what I mean? Like, we're not allowed to do anything to him. Any other human that would say all of these things about me publicly, negative, hundreds of negative things, probably throughout life, you would be able to do something about that. But this is just media. Hey, this is just the way media is. You can't do it. So him just verbally assaulting him is something that took over the internet, and now you see the Niners players fighting back, and I'll be intrigued to see how it all ends up in the end.
Well, and you guys talk about
don't have to say
being credentialed too, and talking like this, and kind of like antagonizing players, then gives the average everyday fucking Joe Schmo who can walk up to a player and thinks that he can then say anything he wants because this guy who's a credentialed media for NFL can do it. Why can't I fucking?
This is Will Smith.
Yeah.
With the. It's Crazy. Can't have it.
Would you want that? I mean, I guess it's a career path.
What did Grant Cohn say that one time? What was he talking about over there? What did he say?
What? I just don't understand why he's so mad at me. Was it the 100 negative things I said about him?
You tell me.
What do you guys think?
This guy cutting a promo, dude. That guy
why was there cuts though? Why was there edits? He couldn't do it in one take?
No, I think it was he didn't want to list out everything. That's why he was deciding to just say hundreds of things. I couldn't sit here all day and list them all off. Or did he stutter because he's a little bit scared?
Did he have an OTA today?
I would assume.
Probably. Yeah, they're doing a presser right now. So
wait, are you serious? Like a presser? What are you talking about?
Hey, listen. I do not want to say that negative pricks don't make the internet better, right? You always need to heal, right? If it wasn't for the rain, you wouldn't appreciate the sunshine as much. I understand that there has to be people that are, negative, pessimistic, look for the negative in everything, pick people apart with their negatives and drawbacks. I understand that happens and it exists. I think just alongside every other 49er player that has spoken about this, and also other players around the NFL that have spoken out about this because of their own relationships with the media, the credentialed thing is probably everybody's problem. I think that is.
And obviously Kinlaw coming out and going on his program, his show, his channel, whatever it is, and doing this, it probably just it became too much. It boiled over. Like I'm sure this obviously wasn't like a spur of the moment. Oh, hey, I'm going to let this guy know how I feel. This has been building up for a while.
You think Grant Cohn's going to have to still work? Man, still got to write terrible things about
do his job. And it sounds like that's all he did. If all of Kinlaw's teammates are, backing him up, and he's going and saying the 100 of negative things that he said just about Kinlaw, like you got to assume he's probably said terrible things about everyone on the 49ers then.
Well, and they always, there's always that thing like freedom of speech is not freedom of consequence.
Yeah, it's true.
Here is a beautiful situation in real life. Hey, you're allowed to write whatever the fuck you want. On the flip side, a man that was formerly homeless has been driven his entire life to change the trajectory of his entire family, has made it to the NFL, and you have just shit on him entirely in his entire existence, all the way since draft day. There's a chance that person is a dog and is ready to fucking, tear you apart as well. There's a chance that could happen. That's freedom of speech, freedom of consequence. He could lose his credential. Freedom of consequence. You're allowed to do whatever you got to do. And I think the fact that he continued to relish in it even more, like cutting the promo afterwards, then doing a live stream Q&A on it, like trying to make it even bigger, is only kind of getting the shovel out even more probably in the NFL's eyes. And obviously, I do not recommend any player in the NFL that's getting paid a good amount of money, great amount of money to play football and continue to do so, to go on any show and then just bury the host in the fashion that you would to a friend or to somebody in the locker room or on the field or something like that. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend that, but felt like he had a lot to get off his chest, and he certainly did right there in front of the Coney Hats.
Well, and I think there are a bunch of teams that have a guy who's super negative, that fans would know, but I don't think there are very many, or were multiple guys in the locker room hey, fuck this guy, this guy sucks. But I don't know how many people, writers at least, are doing this type of shit. I feel like that's why he was all right, this guy needs to be stopped.
Mark Madden was trying to fight a couple people. But he's not credentialed. He's not in the locker room every single day. I think he could.
What would Mark Madden think about this, though, you think?
Probably love it.
I don't know what he probably thinks Cohn's a mark.
Hey, you think Kinlaw ran this by the Niners PR squad that he was going on the show?
Hey, NFL credential, you guys think he's okay? So I'm gonna go on this one too. Let me go ahead. How quickly? What was Grant Cohn's intro to that? Joining me now is San Francisco 49er, Javon Kinlaw. Yeah, let's get to it. Hey, you're the worst human on earth, is basically what Kinlaw tried to say to him there. How about Grant Cohn's? What's that mean? I love it. I fucking love it. I would assume he's going to grow from this, though. But what were you about to say there whenever I said, hey, players, we do not recommend doing this. We do not think this is the right way to do it, but certainly had some shit to get off his chest, and it feels like everybody felt the same exact way that he did?
Well, I think it was it Solomon Thomas in his tweet mentioned, makes players, treats them like animals or makes them sound like animals, terrible things. I would imagine a lot of the, the critical things that this guy has said about players have crossed over into like very personal, like attacks on them as people, as humans, not just on the football field.
I would assume. I mean, because he said in there, I'm a human just like you. He said, I am a human just like you. And
guys aren't scared. Like NFL guys, professional athletes, people think they're sensitive. Yeah, sure. A lot of guys are somewhat sensitive, but they're not like they respect people that do their job and are professional and are consistent too. Like, even guys that may have like a lot of people may not like a whole lot in the media. If people respect what they do, or they think that person works hard and that person's authentic and they're actually doing it because they love it, guys respect it, man. Like they're okay with it, I think.
I'll be intrigued to see what the reaction is to Grant Cohn, in that building now that he's allowed in there, when he is openly on the record said, I thought I was going to get multi-millions of dollars from Kinlaw and just retire because I pissed him off so bad and said so many terrible things. It's like, you rat. What are you?
Yeah.
Why are you? What
is he going to try to trip walking into the facility next time he goes into?
Yeah, it sounds like his dad was pretty successful, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely not.
Now I got to work. Okay. Now I still got to work. The guy that was homeless is who he's doing this to at one point. This fucking guy. What a guy.
Niners are probably like, all right, this is perfect. 2 birds, 1 stone. We get to take this kid's credentials away. And for the first time in 6 months, people aren't talking about Deebo Samuel possibly being 49ers.
Is Trey Lance going to be good? Or what? Is Jimmy going to be traded? Is Deebo Samuel coming back? No. Let's talk about this guy that I think everybody doesn't like.
Yeah, and now everyone's on Javon Kinlaw's side in the Niners, no matter what. Really,
are people are going to who are going to attack us? Other media members are going to attack us.
Who though?
No, because I saw not a lot.
Who's not going to like this?
Real media members won't support this guy and how he's doing.
Like I saw.
Who's not going to like what we just did right here? Because no other show is doing what we just did. Obviously, to lay out why this guy stinks and why you should probably be on Javon's side. I don't think so. I don't think anybody else is doing that because it's a member of the media. So it's almost like, hey, he's one of us. This could be us next time. Like that's how people think. I know if a motherfucker gets so mad at a conversation in this show and we get into it, I know I'm not suing. So I'm not really worried about shit. So we can bury saying the fact that this guy's goal was to sue somebody. It's not like it's going to come back and bite me in the ass where other people might be. It might happen to you.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. It might be. What would you do? What would you do? Like that. Like that's not how we're going. But who is on Cohn's side? Is it just the Coniacs?
Yeah. Other marks.
All right.